morning. Happy Monday. This is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. Yeah, I know. Many people have taken advantage of the Monday.
Yeah.
Because it's the day after Easter.
It is.
To continue celebrating, the resurrection of our Lord Jesus. Jano, how are you?
The day after Good Sunday. Sunday, he is risen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. Easter Sunday is always very profound. I think my memory takes me back to being on a beach somewhere at the coast. And they used to have services at 5 a.m. So unaamka kutoka nyumbani, you go there. Then the pastor at the break of dawn says, he is risen, let's all rise. So I miss those, and I want to pass those traditions.
So you all rise at the crack of dawn?
We all rise at the crack of dawn. We say a prayer. It was very nice. Yours was good?
Was there a tomb?
There was no tomb.
There was no tomb?
There was no tomb. It didn't have to be that
Like
granular.
they were not dramatizing, going to do like the tomb, open, roll, the stone.
The version of the tomb was just sunrise. Then they would say, you can see he's risen. Let's praise the Lord. And then after that, now we would all go somewhere and have breakfast. Memories. Okay. Top tier.
And that's it.
Sasa tunaomba, tunasoma Biblia, everything. Ilikuwa church service.
He's risen. Let's go have it.
Karibuni sana, Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. We know on Mondays, we do love to have conversations around politics. I don't know, I use the word love loosely. I'm navigating my relationship with politics. But the people who I think are making me look at politics different are the young people in this country, the youth who want to have their voices heard, who want to take up space. And so today we're having a conversation with a wide variety of them, just asking them, what is it that young people want beyond the need for justice and accountability?
Yep.
How are they stepping up to the challenge? What does it look like to vie? And if you're vying, what are you vying against and for? And all of that. That's the conversation we're having today.
And why? And it's a good thing that we have specifically invited a cross-section of youth leaders from communities. So some are student leaders, others are youth wing leaders in political parties, others are community leaders who are also aspiring to get into positions of elective leadership. And so we'll hear from them. And there's been this whole movement about, are the youth ready? Are the youth ready for 2027 and beyond? Are the youth ready to actually elect some of them and good leaders into positions of leadership? And also to step up and say, look, I would like to be identified and to therefore be elected as, a leader representing us in whatever position. Because for as long as we say, leadership, the table, if the youth decide to actually come in and sit at the table, then we're having a conversation.
I love that. And we're going to hear from them in just a moment. Also, I think about the fact that leaders in history, some of the greatest leaders, have done it in their 20s.
Yep.
So I don't know why we keep getting confused saying, are they ready? I'm like, everybody from Biko to Martin Luther, they were all young people. So people are up to the task, but it's the how.
Yep.
So we'll hear from them. They'll just tell us a little bit about who they are. And it would be really interesting to start by answering, as you tell us who you are, Niko, Kadi, and the wave we're feeling, is it a moment or is it a movement? Is it something that itapita to, or is it, nope, this is how we're mobilizing? So we'll start here and go around. You just tell us your name, why you're here, and Niko, Kadi, whether it's a moment or a movement. We'll start with you.
Yeah, nice. Thank you for having me here. My good name again is Wilmark Macharia Gasheru, former student leader and an aspiring MCA. 2027 Engineer Award is in Nyandarua County. And Niko, Kadi, personally Niko, Kadi, I voted in 2022 actually at KICC. I voted for Ruto, this bad government, oh my God. But again, that is gone. We are looking on fixing now. As we said, fixing the nation. Niko, Kadi is a movement, and actually it started way before you people realized. Only that it came to erupt a few days ago. And apparently, every youth, every young people is after Niko, Kadi. And as you can see, you saw Eric Omondi say we have a very big event we organizing, and the entrance will be Kadi, because we have to make sure we liberate our country.
Okay.
We have to make sure that we are part of the story. So it's not a moment, and it's not a maybe a punchline that will come and go. Niko, Kadi will still be remembered for changing this country. Right. So apparently, as we're saying, it's a movement, And it's a big one. I think now the government will start now, giving us security or even make IBC add hours for registering voters.
We'll come back and speak to you more about that.
We're going to be there.
It's going to be there. I like what you're saying. It's beyond a slogan. This is a movement. Thank you for that. What about for you? Your name, and talk to us about Niko Kadi.
My name is Clinton Mwada from Kitui County and also an aspiring senator. Niko Kadi is not a moment. And again, I can also confidently say it's a movement and a conclusion of what we started in 2024. I remember in 2024, we came out strongly and made a statement that we have to change this country. We have to change Kenya from just a country that is very much backward in terms of development and progressiveness into a country where we have the rule of law, we have economic development and progressiveness. The young people are given platforms and employment opportunities to make sure that we transform our economic status. So in 2027, we are looking at a moment of change in this country once and for all. And that's how Niko Kadi movement becomes a conclusion of what we started. We cannot leave this job unfinished.
So it's not a beginning, it's a conclusion.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, first of all, once again, my name is Charles Murithi. I come from Thika constituency, specifically Kameno Ward. I come from also a party, a very trusted party called Jubilee Party. I'm chairman of the Youth League Kameno Ward. And Niko Kadi is not a wave. It is a movement. First of all, let me talk in terms of generations. We are the current parents. If you look at us, I have kids. And I believe most of us here, in the next 5 years, they will be parents, if they are not. And we are looking at the next 30 years, the next 40 years, they will be us. They will be the ones who will be sitting on these chairs. And it is our responsibility as a generation to clear and clean the system for them. Our problem is not actually His Excellency, the President, or the government of the day, or even the governments that have been there. Our problem is a dirty system. It is a system that allows them to do what they do. And I believe if we are going to come out and do our responsibility, take the votes, and show up to vote, I believe that we will change this country, because it is not about those who will vote. It is also about those who are coming out to be voted for.
Okay.
Because we are now moving into a generation where we are voting for leaders, not politicians.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Next.
Hello, my name is Maende Edwin. Currently, I'm still a student. And first of all, Niko Kadi, very bad. And the reason why Niko Kadi, there's something my friend here, my colleague here, Charles Amesema, that we are here to clear the system. The enemy is not maybe the president or maybe the government of the day, but the system. This system is the problem. And Niko Kadi is just this initiative that is trying, or that will actually come and clear the system. And when you clear the system, you can do whatever you want. So at the moment, the system is dirty and it needs to be cleaned up.
All right.
That's why Niko Kadi.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Consolata Wairimu Awero from Laikipia County. In 2027, I'll be vying as the woman representative in Laikipia County. First, I want to address the labels placed on us as the Gen Zs. Most times we are labeled as lazy and entitled. I must say that we are a generation with high standards of humanity. And Niko Kadi is not just a movement, it is a movement. I have seen this pressure online. We have been having online pressure or just peer pressure. Now this is a new kind of peer pressure that people are just having conversations, and if you are not Kadi, you feel left out. So this is not just a movement, it is a massive movement. And I want to tell people that if you think that this is just a joke, if you call us lazy, then mtaona kivumbi. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chamtema kuni.
The limits of a tyrant are prescribed by them that are willing to them that are being oppressed. I am Jasper Joseph Miruri, student leader, former student leader at Chuka University, the only prophetic university in the world, and that says that anything that I'm going to say here will be prophetic. So, Niko Kadi, and to answer the question, the Niko Kadi movement is both a moment and a movement. Moment in terms of it is a Damascus moment that our eyes are being opened up. We have seen the massive corruption that is going on. We've seen embezzlement of funds that can only be real in fiction movies, and that has opened our eyes. And that's why we are saying that each and every youth must be a registered voter. For we have known that in order to fix this country, we need to first by fixing the systems. Secondly, Niko Kadi is a movement, and being an ardent student of history, I'm made aware that there comes a time that a generation has to stand for itself. From 1950s, we had the Mau Mau. From 1981, we had the multi-party democracy led by Akina Raila Amolo Odinga, the late. And now it's our turn. And so I want to urge all the Gen Zs, wherever you're watching us from the coastal sandy beaches of Mombasa to the hilly mountains of Samburu, that it's our turn and our time to fix this country. This is not the country that we would wish to bequeath our generations. So it's our time to rise to the occasion and fix this country to the level best.
Okay. All right.
Thank you very much.
Asante sana.
My name is Moses Toma. I'm a trainee advocate at Mark and Partners Advocates. I'm also a systems thinker. Na Niko Kadi. So what we want as Gen Zs, the first thing is the system overhaul. So this Niko Kadi movement is one of those ways that will have a systematic overhaul. It is a start. When you want to change a system, it takes a lot of things because a system is a complex entity. But us wanting to have an accountable government is one of the ways that we are starting to change the system for the future generations. So, Niko Kadi, and this is a movement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Moses.
Well, Latif and
Janet.
Thank you so much for having...
Sometimes I'm called Yule Dem Wingine. Naipokea tu ni sawa.
Nice.
You can stand so that we can see you well, if that's okay.
Although it's going to be difficult because of the height of the sill. But see if you can just stand up.
Yeah, at the back, I think
That's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, Jano and Latif, it's a pleasure having us here as a progressive youth thinkers and, of course, Gen Zs of this country. Mine, I'll have a contrary view of the Tuko Kadi thing, whether it's a moment or a movement. I'd say that Tuko Kadi or Niko Kadi, because personally I'm Niko Kadi. And of course, for you to have that power that I was talking about, you must have a tool, and the right tool is the card. So I'll say that the Tuko Kadi thing is just an initiative, which is part of the electoral processes that every responsible citizen or maybe responsible youth should get involved. So if you ask me again why not a moment and why not a movement and a moment, it is because many a times we've seen brilliant and good ideas coming up from youth and Gen Zs of this country, but then we've never asked ourselves why some of this initiative does not last. It is because we view them from an emotional view. We view them from, we don't have a long-term, lens in terms of vision when we view some of these ideas. And that's why we come up with brilliant ideas, good initiatives, but they don't last. So it is until then, because when we started, Jano, you were like, when we come here, we should come up with a solution. We should come up with a, what is that one sustainable thing that we can come up with as youths, as Gen Zs of this nation, that can propel us so that we be in the positions where, power and policies are discussed, and where we can influence some of these, issues that affects the Gen Zs and youth directly. We've tried. We've gone to the streets. Personally, I was in the streets the 25th June. That was so historic. But then we realized that was not the right tool, or maybe the right strategy to do what, to change, to come up with some of these changes. So as I open this discussion as a GOGO, a member of ODM Youth League, I'm confidently saying that we should have a different perspective on how we view some of these, initiatives that we come up with, so that we can have a sustainable ideas that can propel us, to influence some of these policies that affects us as a youth and the young generation, young people of this nation.
Thank you, Agogo.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Paul Inda, a former student from Multimedia University of Kenya, and currently serving as the chairperson of Nyatike sub-county, that is under Migori County University and Colleges Student Association. Yeah, so about the Tuko Kadi or Niko Kadi, I want to disagree with my fellow friends who have just spoken, that this is just a moment. Because how many elections have we had in this country? And we have been having many slogans. After 2027, you will not hear anyone saying about Tuko Kadi. That is why I'm saying it is just a moment. And how are we going to ensure that Tuko Kadi works? Number one, we are saying that we should register as voters. You can just meet someone and you ask him, Uko Kadi, alafu anakuambia Niko Kadi. We are going to get into the ground and show us the Kadi which you are saying. Second on to that, we are going to vote, come out. We are going to mobilize our youth, because why must you have an ID card then you have registered as a voter, then you fail to vote? We are going to do mobilization as youths to ensure we come out in large numbers to bring that system that we want. The third thing that we are going to do is to protect our votes, because this is the problem that we have been having. We have seen our votes are being stolen, but this time around we are out to protect those votes, because it must be done. It has to be done, because if we don't do it, we ourselves will be done. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Bogo, a lawyer, historian, a farmer, and a professional rugby player. For me, I'm saying Niko Kadi, it's a movement and it's not a moment. And actually, if we look at the symbolism of it, Niko Kadi, for those who have played poker, means that you have been left with one card, and the only person who can win is the only person who's ako Kadi. And for the youth, Tuko Kadi, and Ruto has 20 cards, but we are left with one card, and that one card, we're going to make sure he goes home. That's what we are saying as a youth.
Right.
Thank you.
Bongo, also, when in that play, when you're playing that game of cards and someone says Niko Kadi, the rest say, watch a game come, Ivo, change, because there's somebody with a joker who's going to feed it, so that you don't finish the game.
Yes.
Right? So you of course know, when you declare Niko Kadi, you know you are now up against everybody else that you're playing, and so they're all against you. They all want to make sure that we don't finish the game now. Tuendelee ndio mimi, ikuwe mimi nifike kadi ndio mimi niseme niko kadi. So everybody is also then saying, I do not want you to remain Kadi. I'll do everything. And we will all conspire to make sure that your Kadi does not materialize into you finishing the game. So are we ready? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for, knowing that everybody else now becomes your opposition to derail you from finishing the game at that point? But just having heard that, I want to go back to Charles, who was the first one who said that this is also a moment to drain the swamp, clear the system, because this system is what is rigged. So even if we are Kadi and all, and we just elect people into this system, we'll end up having the same problem. Please define this system for me, and where the problems are with this system.
First of all, let me first of all go back kidogo, and then I come as I answer that.
Okay.
Our mistake goes back when we got into parliament. We didn't finish the job. That is where we went wrong.
On the 24th, is that what you mean? Okay.
Yes, we didn't finish the job.
What was the job?
The job, it was not defined at this is the job that we are going to do. But the fact that we entered into that parliament and then moved out, and without proposing new things that were coming, and the movement went down, now it came to where we are now seated and discussing. That is where we made the mistake. First of all, they understood all of us are going home. And it is the nature of humans to do something called self-preservation. And the moment they realized that they are going home, that is the moment they started organizing, reorganizing, changing things, changing structures to make sure that they will self-sustain themselves, even as we come with the Niko Kadi movement. Mm. What do I mean by cleaning the system? This system has been dirty because we can go back to Anglo-Leasing, the Golden Bag. Every president, we cannot say that Kibaki was clean. No. His government also had some dossiers to the deal now at Isai. Moi's government also had issues. Uhuru's government, my leader, had issues. Ruto's government have issues. The ones that we are seeing, we are living with them. We are feeling the impact firsthand because we are the ones who are at these jobs. We are the ones who are looking for jobs. We are the ones who the jobs are not enough, and the ones that are there are not good paying. You cannot sustain a family. If you ask these guys, they will tell you, I have taken that risk of bringing kids to this world, showing responsibility, showing that I can raise a child and make him a man. But the system is not allowing me to do that. The other day, the president said that he wants us to go to Singapore in terms of the aspiration. I looked at I'm amongst the first Kenyans who had read the story of Singapore before the president talked about it. And there's one thing the former prime minister of Singapore, Lee Hsien Loong, the son to Lee Kuan Yew, he said before his father died, he asked the parliament to never allow the system to be dirty, to never allow the system to go corrupt. Our system is corrupt. We are saying, you have just said, that yes, we will have the cards, but there are people who are orchestrating and planning on how they are going to sabotage this movement and make sure that we will not win. And how will they make it? It is because maybe the IEBC will allow it. It is because maybe the court will allow it. It is because maybe the parliament will allow it. It is because even the police will conspire with the government to make sure that we have failed. But they are forgetting, Solomon said, the wisest man in the world is the one who leaves an inheritance to the children, to his children's children. So we are fighting for their grandkids. Okay. But they are not seeing this. They are eating, they ate the past. We have talked about Anglo-Leasing and Nini and Nini and Nini. We have eaten the future, the present. We don't have nothing.
So what is the system, Charles?
The system, if you look at, when I talk about the system, I talk about the system from the president, coming down the president, the three arms of the government, the president and his office, the parliament that oversees the president, the senate that oversees the counties, the county governments, the court, the police force, the military.
All the main institutions.
Everything that pertains to public service.
So what does clearing that system mean?
Cleaning the system. Cleaning the system. Cleaning the system means all these people who are, because we are working in those offices, we know how things go. In order for maybe something to come out, we know that you must beg in order for something to come out. We know that the distribution of resources, it is not fair. It is based on maybe how do I know you. It is not meritocratic. Okay. Because what we want is a meritocratic system, a system that rewards hard work and results. That is what I mean.
Let's pause there because I know I want to get other reactions. Do you understand the system the way he's explaining it, or what do you understand when you hear the system?
I don't know.
That's why you're interrogating.
I keep hearing system.
Okay. I think he's explained. It's institutions. Yeah. Anybody else want to react to what Charles said? Because I like Eric's question is, how do we actually, how do you identify and clean a system? A lot of you have talked about being aspirants, meaning you've identified the flaws. So you want to correct that. We have a conversation still going on for a moment, but just before the break, any reactions? Yeah. Well, there's quite a few. You have the mic, then we'll come in front here.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Then we'll come to you, Consolata. Yeah.
So I'll keep on standing, eh?
Yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah, well, so Jano, systemic challenges in this country is not something that you can just wake up one day and correct them. These are challenges that have always been there since independence up to date. So when I hear my fellow youth, talking about systemic challenges and not being in the correct spaces. Correct spaces here means spaces where you can influence policies, spaces where you can influence power. And that is why, as my party leader, Dr. Buro Giga, keeps on saying that we want power. We want power simply means that you be in the position where you can influence, some of these policies and some of these issues that affect, youth directly and Kenya as a nation. My friend here said that what we had from more liberation, which was in around 40s to 50s, and then now we came up to around 80s and 90s where we had the second liberation, and then now as we speak now we are in the third liberation, which is economic liberation. So when talking about economic liberation and having issues like systemic challenges, you must be in a position where you can do what you can influence power. We've been having people picketing. We've been having people going to the streets. It is not bad to go to the streets. We've tried it as a youth and as a people, because we came to speak as a youth and as a generation. We must align ourselves to the political parties, and that's why when we were going to the streets, we are going there as we were like we are partyless, we are leaderless, and then we came at a point where we realized that addressing some of these challenges as an individual, as a go-go, it is not possible. So you have to align yourself to a political party where you can do what you can drive your agendas or rather your challenges, where these challenges can be addressed in the position of power.
Let's pause there. I know we had a lot of people who wanted to weigh in. I know Clinton, Consolata, but we are going into a short break. We'll come back and still continue threading on this definition of systems and the definition of how to dismantle said systems. Okay, so we are going into a short break. We're still having a conversation around youth leadership and what young people want, what they envision for 2027 and beyond. We'll be right back. This is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time.
Amwasilwa Okono, Fixing the Nation from Mount Helicon. I want to draw the attention of my fellow countrymen as the election draws nigh. It's important to have this knowledge with you, that you have a marking scheme at your disposal. So use it well for the sake of this nation and for posterity.
Thank you, as always. We really love hearing from you. Remember, the number to send your WhatsApp Nation to is 0769590762. Just put your phone on landscape, namna hivi, selfie mode, or just get somebody to record for you nicely and give us your message. What is it that you want to fix? What is happening around you? Who is somebody that you think we should know about? And send that again to 0769590762. We're getting back in conversation with
youth leaders, Gen Z leaders, millennial leaders, and they're here, all of them with what they feel is an issue that needs to be resolved, and then looking at what that solution is. So one of them had actually said that yes, this Tuko Kadi is not just a moment; it's a movement. It's a movement that's going to come and clean the system. So before we took the break, we're like, so what is this system, and how do we clean the system? Charles and Agogo had gone into it, and I think Consolata, you had to come back, and let's hear your view. Is there a system that is rotten that needs to be cleaned, and how would you define that system?
Thank you very much, Janet and Latif. The kind of system that we are dealing with, we have leaders who even lack basic etiquette. You know, we even don't have to go to, stealing funds and all that, just the basic etiquette. You just have to listen the words they say, and they don't care. They just say that live. I remember during the 2024 Finance Bill protest, I don't remember the member of parliament who said that people die every day and life moves on. You can imagine at such a moment when the country is bleeding, parents have lost children, and you're aware that this parent will never see the child again, even if you give them millions or billions. When the child is gone, they are gone forever. I mean, look at the recent utterances from the president to the opposition. I mean, very, very, very unpresidential. You know what that does? It creates a toxic environment here at home and affects our reputation, even in the international community. Our president has been, I understand that he's now the outgoing chairperson, I think, of EAC community. And, he's dealing with countries that are actually affected by civil wars, such as DRC. And then, back in his country, he's the first one. Can you imagine that, Janet, because I'm disagreeing with you, I'll start saying how thin you are, how slim you are, instead of putting facts on the table? Our politics they are personality based. Yeah. You hear some of the opposition leaders saying that so and so has such a voice, instead of saying that so and so is doing this and I want to do this. I mean, as Gen Zs, we don't care. We really don't care who shouts the best. We care who has the best plan for the economy, for the future, and for the jobs. And by the way, I think for me as a lady, I can't even risk having a child until Ruto gets out of office. Because with this kind of economy, imagine bringing up a child. I pity parents. Bringing up a child in this toxic environment. What kind of learning? I mean, what kind of the words? Can you imagine a child who aspires to be a president? I'm pretty sure he or she heard those words and he was like, you mean a president is supposed to behave like this? I mean, let us go to the basic things. Okay,
let's pause there. It actually makes you rethink your future. That's quite heavy what you've said, that the current leadership and system makes you really think about the future. I think, Clinton, I wanted to say something before we come back there. Before the break, you also wanted to share.
Yes, so for me, at first, I'm having some mixed emotions on what the good friend from Kameno said. I don't know if he was listening to himself well. But because we are fixing the nation, we're going to listen and see what goes well with us. He said he works in those offices, so I think he's also in the system and he needs to be cleared. I don't know if he was, I don't know, well, but I'm sure you heard that. So one thing I want to first, I want to put out clear is that we have to be optimistic. And that's the difference between now, this generation and all other generations. I believe, Janet, even if there's a wall there, I can go through that wall. Even if it's not today, I can take my time to make a way there. So when I hear someone saying, Niko Kadi is a moment, I get sad. I don't know if you people schooled about mutation. You learned about mutation. You start with a worm, and it becomes a butterfly someday, right? So Niko Kadi is a movement. That means somebody said after election it will die. No, you're so wrong. Niko Kadi is a movement, and it might mutate, because once we start with Niko Kadi right now, to make sure we, clear this government, because the system, I heard people say, the problem is not Ruto. Ruto is a system. What do you mean, my friend? I mean, this system has people who are running the system. And if you want to clear the system, you can't tell us here that President Ruto is not the problem. Who is the problem then?
So, Wilma, if we put you in office, because you want to get into office, if we put you in office under the current circumstances, will you make a change?
Definitely I will. Because the change starts with me. And that's why we're here. That's why actually I would have decided to go for, another seat. But I went for MCA. Because I know I want to have power you know, to make laws and change things. Because as a member of county assembly, right, I'll have power to bring motions and even to make sure that a lot of things change from where I sit, from the county assembly. So something I want to understand, and that's why I like what my friend, the lady said, right? We don't care who shouts more and who talks more, right? We are after the ideas.
So you want to get into the county assembly. For
Yes.
example, for you, you want to get into the county assembly of Nyandarua.
Yes.
Representing Engineer Ward.
Yes.
And you believe just by going to, what's the headquarters of Nyandarua?
Sorry?
What's the headquarters of Nyandarua?
Olkalau.
Olkalau.
Yeah.
That now when you go to Olkalau and you get into the county assembly, you will be able to bring bills and motions and you will make changes.
Yes, and I'm not believing, I know it is it. Since I was a young person and since I knew, you know, the government and I started learning, let me tell you something unfortunate. I've always seen the government of Nyandarua bring back funds to the national government. Our own MCA, I have never seen him pass a bill. Since I was born, the road to go to our home, you see, from the tarmac, it has been the same. The only thing they do is come, dig, get maram there. Nothing else.
They grade it.
They don't have agro-processing industry. They don't even think about, you know, innovative projects for the youths. Like in Nairobi, I see we have CCI. Every young man is finishing school in Nyandarua and coming to Nairobi. They are suffering here in Nairobi.
Okay. And you say Ruto is a problem for that?
Sorry?
Ruto
yes, he's the biggest problem because he's the system. What is the system? Ruto is running
He's the leader of the system.
Yeah, he's the leader of the system.
Okay.
And so, you know, when like your dad, you know, we say like father, like son, some of the time. So, like the Ruto is rotten and the nation is rotting. Yeah.
A few colleagues want to react. We'll come to you. Yeah?
Thank you
Then
very
you will
much
come to you.
for this opportunity. And let me begin by correcting my brother here. And let me remind him that the metamorphosis is not studied in nutrition, it's studied in reproduction. And what I've listened here, I've picked one point, that all of my friends here are discussing about people. And that takes me to a certain quote that Sun Tzu said, that power does not corrupt men corrupt power. And it is also said that man made money, and money made man mad. So we are talking about people corrupting the system that we have already, like in existence. For example, we all maybe have interacted with computers or our gadgets. If we install a software that is not compatible with your gadgets, that is called corruption. And to bring it into our Kenyan context is that we have gotten the bad people for the right job, to do the right job. As in we want to do good deals with bad people, which cannot be possible. For example, you find that here in Nairobi, we have the in charge of disaster management is a degree holder in theology. And our president, yesterday, I heard him say that he is the only president with a PhD. And it's a PhD in botany. So I don't think we got the right people for the job. And we should not be blaming them, because we are the one who gave them job. And Jano and Eriko, we all know that if your son or daughter falls sick, you don't take him or her to a garage. You take him to a hospital. So come 2027, it will be our moment.
All right.
We have a sick nation. We are not going to take it to the garage. We are going to take it to the hospital.
A functioning hospital.
You. Exactly.
Clinton, you wanted to say?
Yeah. I think I want to bring out the aspect of the system very well. The system is the institutional structure of running the country. The parliament, the executive, the judiciary, that is the system. Now, the system is controlled by people. And this is where the goodwill of leadership comes in. We as the young people, we have the goodwill. We have the burden to serve the country. And that's when I agree with my friend here, that we want to drain the swamp. We want to take out all these people, because they have confirmed to us through time that they don't have the political goodwill for the people. You cannot tell me, Agogo told us that through Oburu, they want power. Dr. Oburu has been there for almost in leadership for more than 20, 30 years. What is he going to change, or what is going to change in him in less than the next 5 years? The same with our president, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. All these people, they have to go home because they control the system.
Okay.
And when we say that we want to change the system, we want to take these people home so that we can come in and so that we can change our country. You see, Latif, today if you take a bill into parliament, the bill is just a paper written, but it has to be discussed by members of parliament. There has to be a speaker to oversee the discussion and the debate. Now, this is where now the aspect of men and leadership comes in. If you take a bill into parliament today, like I remember Nganga Mungai is taking a petition to parliament to legislate that children take constitution in school as a lesson or as a subject. If we take that bill into parliament, these people are going to step over it.
Why?
The system is there, but they know the impact of that subject that will create to young people. Young people will now come out more clever than they were. Okay. So they step on it. They bring other bills that are just not useful, so and they bypass the most useful things that we need to do. So we need to take these people out.
Your solution is clear the system, is drain the swamp, remove everybody. Forget water, and bring in a new crop of leaders.
Yes.
But how do we trust that these new ones are clean and are incorruptible and are not going to act like the ones before? Not to be a wet blanket here, but we've heard these things before many times. And every time there's an election, there's always a new group of people who's coming in. In every new government, there's so many. If you just think about from the county assemblies, we remove many, we bring in new ones. From the National Assembly again, same, remove, bring in new ones. And you don't see much change. How do we know that, for example, Senator Clinton will be a better senator than the previous senators that Kitui has ever elected? Like, how do we identify you to be the solution?
Thank you. First, you look at the goodwill and the burden, and you can see it. For example, I remember in 2024, when we were protesting out here, I think the nation grasped what we were saying. We don't want leaders to amass wealth. We want to decentralize wealth from a few people. I remember there's a report that was done by one of the organizations that we have 145 people in Kenya who are rich than over 55 million of us. Now, the question that we're asking ourselves as young people, and when we look at the culture of the Gen Zs and the young people, they like decentralizing things. Those who are in university right now, I know even if you go to the hostels, you'll find them, they will changa that 50 bob and make up a meal. That's a culture that we have developed among us ourselves. We don't want to have a Clinton as a senator who is a billionaire. Well, I have children in my county, in Kitui, in places like Ikuda, in Kabati, in Mwingi West. They are going to school barefooted. They don't have food. They don't have water. And then I call myself their senator. That is not humanity and is not sanity. So when we are saying that we need to bring up fresh people, we are looking at the political goodwill to change the system.
And the culture of the generation,
and the
so to
culture
speak.
of the generation is very important.
Yeah, before we, Kevin, I think you can speak, then we'll come to you, because a lot of our, the young people in this studio today are people who are aspiring for leadership. You said I'm a rugby player, I'm a lawyer. I noticed you didn't mention about any aspiration. So I want you to reflect on the kind of leadership that you see among your peers today. Are we moving in the right direction?
I believe we're moving in the right direction, but I wanted to say something. Actually, I beg to disagree with Charles. He said that probably it's the system that has a problem. But for me, I think it starts from the top. Actually, for the people who come from forested areas, I happen to be one. When you find a snake or when you are attacked by a snake, you hit its head not its thorax, not its tail. So what that means, when you hit its head, it's going to die instantly. But if you hit its thorax or tail, it may actually attack you and kill you. So this is what I'm trying to imply. Ruto is the problem at the moment, and he is the head. And what we need as a country is just him resigning, or us as the Gen Z, we ensure that we make him go home come 2027. And why I'm saying that is also because I'm a student of history. And Singapore, when it was being established, Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, when he took power, actually some of his ministers were corrupt. And one had an allegation, he had a case, and once he realized that he's going to be caught and the Prime Minister is not going to help him, what he did, he actually committed suicide because he knew the country is going to get him, the police are going to take him, and it's going to be hard for him. So essentially what I'm trying to say is Ruto is the problem, and we need to fix that as soon as possible.
Yes. We need to bring back shame.
Yes,
now there's no shame. So corruption, that person had shame, so they did that. You want to react?
Yeah. Thank you. So I think what we want as Gen Z is you already have it here at NTV that we want to fix the nation. And how are we going to fix this nation? We are going to fix this nation by ensuring that we start from the MCA coming to the top leadership where the president sits. Me, I'm not seeing president as the problem because president is just one, and we have the majority. We can do something to make sure that we fix this system in terms of education. Look at the price. You people will do a research on how the education system has been altered in terms of the fees that students are paying. In the next few years, I want to tell you for sure that we are not going to have our people or our children coming from the village where I come from, back in Nyatike, coming to the universities because of the fees that is being paid in the education. And we also want to fix this nation in terms of in the health sector. And how are we going to do it? We need to come out as young people. But I want to tell you, even these people who are speaking here, even if the president calls them now, they will go to the state and start saying 2 terms for the president. It is just because it is so.
Paul.
Yeah, so I think I gave you people time to talk, and it is my time to talk.
Okay, so they are speaking in disagreement. Why do you think they would go?
They will go because they don't have jobs. They will go because they lack resources like money. Yeah, I'm sure.
Have you been called?
I personally have not been called, but I'm sure I know because I've been a student leader and I've been seeing this youth.
Will you go when you are called?
Yes.
Will you go when you are called?
I personally.
Yes, you personally, Paul Linda.
I personally have been called, but I have not been going. So that means I will not go because I want to fix the nation. Yeah, so what I was saying, this is something that has been tried. We have seen this with our members of parliament, the likes of Babu Owino. They have been doing well. There are our agencies, the likes of Ndindi Nyoro, the likes of Senator Sifuna. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to ensure that we give leadership to the Gen Zs because it is something that we have tried and it has worked.
As I said about giving leadership to Gen Z, some Gen Zs have actually even been elected as leaders. Some of the current members of parliament were elected are actually in the Gen Z category, and some of it, even those who were in millennials, were elected in their 20s. So people being elected as youthful leaders has happened.
Yeah.
The current governor of Nairobi was nominated to parliament at the age of 27, 28. He was a chair of a national political party that won the national election. Like Senator Cherargei was saying, the first time he was elected as a senator, he was 28. How old was the MP for Mumias East, Salasia? We have seen young people being elected below 30 or early 30s before, right? Are we saying that it was them? But now the next election, we're going to elect now young people who are better. Better than the past.
Okay, let me just start from there. You have mentioned some very few individuals who were elected when they were still young.
Yes.
And they went to the system. And what happened? Look at Cherargei now. What kind of a person is he now? Why? Because with the moment he went to parliament or the Senate, what happened? The system absorbed him. Instead of going there and doing what he was supposed to do there, alienda huko, akaingia kwa system. Akamezwa na system. So as much as you are going to remove these people in the system also has to be cleared.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Edwin, how do we clear that system?
By number one, as much as we don't elect people just because they are Gen Zs. I can be a Gen Z and I'm corrupt. Number one, I can be a Gen Z and I'm corrupt. So you look at me, mimi niko na maoni gani? What are my manifestos? And the moment nikienda pale, is there accountability? Will you be able to follow me and say, when you are coming to ask for votes, you are saying this. What about now? Mm-hmm. Is there accountability? When Ruto was looking for votes, Hustler Nation, tulibebwa na wheelbarrow. Saizi, what about now?
Mm-hmm.
What changed?
Do we
pelekwa Singapore na wheelbarrow.
Do we struggle? I know you want to weigh in, but do we struggle identifying leaders? Let me give a quick example. Immediately after the protests, there are some people who emerged as saying, I would like to. But there was a bit of friction in how do we put our trust in people? So number one, there's the question Eric is asking, is the system, the people, and then the people who we elect as leaders. How do we take the time to vet? How do we take the time to be patient to let them grow into it? Have we thought about that? You can answer, then we can give somebody else here.
Okay, just a moment. Mm-hmm. As much as you can vet, but ukisha vet, ataingia huko. Then after that, do we have something that will follow after accountability to put them on toes? That's what I'm trying to say. As much as alikuwa vetted and he was clean, then the moment akiingia hapo, let's have something to check, to put on balance. Opposition is not working. So let's have a system that will check the leaders in power.
Okay.
Moses akona mic pale na ameinua mkono sana. Simama tafadhali.
So I've listened to all these people. They are talking about the system. So I'm a systems thinker. So first, you're talking about the system. Do you know what the system is first? Because if you don't understand the system, you cannot really solve the system. The system, there are so many types of systems. There's a simple system. There's a complicated system like the cameras and whatever. Then there's a complex system. The one we are dealing right now with is the complex system. That is, it is a group of interconnected components that are working together, interacting for a purpose. So there's a government system, there's the education system, home system, community system, and all those systems come together and form the system that we call the nation of Kenya. So we are talking about the government system. Right now we are saying we are draining the system. That is the government, Kina Ruto and whoever. Then, after that, who are we putting in that system? Unless we make sure that all the systems are in harmony. And what am I saying? Us as a people, the citizens of Kenya, are part of the system. So we have to find a culture of accountability. Because if we are not accountable ourselves, even if we drain that system, the government system that we want to drain, the people we put there will not be accountable, and it will be the same thing repeating and repeating again. So the complex system has a way of adaptability. So it will just adapt and will not be able to change the system. So we have to change the whole system, starting with us, the citizens. We form a culture of accountability. Mm-hmm. Then after you are accountable to yourself and accountable to other people, now you can drain the system. Hata sasa tunasema tunataka kutoa Ruto. Yes, he will go. But now who do we replace him with? Who is accountable enough to be in that system? That's the issue now. Mm-hmm. The system, if you don't understand the system itself, you can't solve it. You can't.
And there's different versions of the system.
Yeah,
from
there
what
are.
I understand. Some people are saying it's the people.
Yeah.
Some people are saying it's institutions. Some are saying it's both. Okay, you can go. Then I think we'll get your reaction.
Who has the marking scheme?
I know who. That's what we're trying to. We are studying together.
Okay. Thank you very much, Janet and Latif. For us to clear the system, we must all agree that all the leaders who are, if not going, they're almost going to Sayuni, the likes of Atwoli and Oburu. What have they been doing? I mean, I mean, they should just go home and retire. In other words, what I'm trying to say, their time is over. I mean, you are 80, you are 85, you have been in government for 40 years. What new thing do you claim? I mean, nini mpya unatuletea? Again, let me say this. You see, I had high expectations with Lynette Toto. You remember she was elected when she was 25. I think she's a very good example. And there was a time I had a conversation with somebody and I was venting out my frustrations and saying that I'm really frustrated because I thought that you'd speak for us and about us. But again, I want you to look at the number of the Gen Zs in parliament versus the older generation. For example, if by God's grace I'm elected in 2027, and then 80% of the people I'm with in parliament are 50-plus-year-olds, and I have no problem with them. Maybe I want to pass a bill that will help the Gen Zs, a bill that will actually be of advantage to the youths. Do you know, as much as I have the goodwill, these leaders will not back my bill. In fact, they'll be the first ones to fight it because they know that will bring some discomfort. Something else, I've been on the ground several times. And there's something with the older generation that at some point I thought these ones can't be helped. The politics of money. It is true. Yes. I've been on the ground and you hear women saying and men saying, you know, so-and-so brought 2,000. So-and-so brought 10,000. Can you imagine? She just came to a meeting and brought 2,000. What a shame. Those are the conversations. But when you ask them, what did that person tell you they will do for you? What are their manifesto? They cannot even remember. Sometimes, from where I stand, honestly, I feel they can't be helped. But you see, our generation, there is hope for this generation. And we can only do this. And when we say that, for example, we have one traitor who was Casmoel, who is in the Oburu's league right now. You see, birds of the same feather actually flock together. So you see, for Casmoel and the rest, there were opportunists in every generation. It's not that we are all saints as Gen Zs. Of course, there's a rotten potato. And you cannot blame all of us. For example, look at the millennials. We have Dende Nyoro doing very well. We have Honorable Jerry Maina from Kirinyaga. They are doing very well. So I am confident, and I want to tell the electorates of this country. And let me go back to the money part.
We do have to take a quick break.
Okay.
You can come and finish your point before we'll hear from Charles. But it's very interesting understanding the system, the people, and the culture. Even the culture of constituents, they all form this system. But this is Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. When we come back, we'll still continue to go granular. What does it mean to actually have sweeping change? What does it look like to overhaul a system? Where does one start and how do we sustain it? We'll be back with our group of young leaders in the studio just to try and unpack what it actually looks like and how we can achieve it 2027 and beyond. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back into the second hour of Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time. Happy Monday. I know it's the day after Easter, and so many are just taking it easy, and we hope that you have an easy day. But in the studio today, we are talking about politics, especially 2027, the generational moment going forward. And with us in the studio is a group of young, youthful leaders, Gen Z, millennial leaders, community leaders, student leaders who also are saying that they'd like to be elected in the next election. Some of them have actually, started that conversation. Maybe some, it's an aspiration in the mind. Others, it's an aspiration and they've gone to the ground and they're raising the conversation. But we asked earlier, so what do the youth want? What's the solution going forward? Some of them have said, we have to look at how we change. We just do a proper overhaul of this particular engine. If we add oil into this engine is leaking and all it has problems. We've got to overhaul the engine, build a new engine, and then put in new components. We are in that debate of where it's going beyond that. Who was coming up after this?
Charles was coming, and even before we invite Charles, personal story, 2022, somebody called me to say, I want you to run as my deputy governor. Now, the sound is immediately you think to yourself, if you are like our peers here, it's the change. But I was held back by the system because I thought to myself, number one, I don't know if I can actually go and dance on a Prado, number one. Number two, if I go there and I want to actually have change, what happens if that is compromised? Anyway, in the end, I said, no, thank you. And, as time goes by, the question we're asking and the conversation we're having is real.
Yep.
There are people who want to create change in this country. Young people, even the ones we have here.
Yep.
But I don't blame the ones who are saying, how will I go there and completely overhaul a system which is already flawed? I don't think it's impossible, but the how is what we're trying to deliberate. So, Charles, let me invite you to respond as we also just take the mic round as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, we've come up with something, now it has created a problem. Now we need to solve this problem. This problem started back with YK92. Commercial politics. That is our problem. That is where the challenge is. You have said that, yes, we will drain the swamp, clean the system, send everybody home, but we might bring back the same cohort or the same caliber of leaders. You see, I've studied, because number one, I don't work in those offices. I said we. When I say we, it is us. This generation, sir. This generation. And if I work for the Republic of Kenya. I've been a class prefect from class 1 Baka campus. That is the Republic of Kenya. I've served this country as a Kenyan scout. I'm a scout. And therefore, I have those values that are required to move. Commercial politics. One time, Lee Kuan Yew was speaking to his team, PAP, the People Action Party. And he was giving them examples of how commercial politics has affected Japan, has affected countries like Malaysia, Indonesia. And he was trying to tell his team, when we go out to campaign, let us go out empty-handed with nothing. But our problem started with YK92 when they were dishing out the 500s. And it is the same playbook that we are seeing now. Yesterday, my party leader, and I respectfully would like to disagree with him, because it's Jubilee, you are allowed to say what you want to say, as long as it is respectful. I cannot encourage my generation to take that 100. I cannot. I will not allow it. In my word, I will not dish out the 100s. Because what normally happens is...
What did the party leader say last week? That's last week when he was in Kirinyaga.
Barrio. He said, if itakuja, ni sawa. But he discouraged. He said, this 100 you'll be given, it will not sustain you for the next 5 years. He first of all fought it. But he said, because you're the people, and I normally tell you things that you don't listen, you can decide. Maybe you will take it. But it is something that should be discouraged. Kutoka hapa kuenda mbele.
Hold on.
What am I saying? What normally happens is you'll find there are investors here, Kenyans, and I'm also at the point of seeing them. They are investors. They invest in a career, a potential. They spot a potential, someone who can be controlled, someone who can be moved like a pond. And maybe they have an aspiration of maybe vying for an office. They come all over from Kenya. They will fund you. They will give you money. And when you get into that office, we normally complain, huyu mtu tulimchagua, lakini alienda pale hakuwaka, alienda pale akatusahau. Why did he forget? Because he is not serving us. We got our reward. Ile siku yenye ulichukua.
Tulimalizana.
It
was a transaction.
Yes, and now he must pay the debts.
Okay.
A political debt. He must pay.
So commercial politics
is our problem.
Is a problem.
Yes, it should be discouraged. Actually, I can tell the president, don't give out money. If you believe in yourself, if you believe that you can move this country from this level that it is and move us forward, don't give money. Compete fairly.
I've asked this question in another room of young people, and I said, if a politician came today, they're campaigning, all right? A moneyed politician, and they dish out cash. Utachukua ama utachukua? Raise a hand if you'll take money. Ongeni ukweli.
Haya, nyinyi wawili. Or you want to answer, or would you take? Oh, you want to answer?
You will say yes, and you'll answer why. Right? Okay.
Before they go, there is a day I was given 200 bob, and that day I had been deregistered from Dedan Kimathi University because of school fees, 17,000. And instead, I give him my fee structure. And I told him, instead of pay so, me nilipia fee. He got into the car and ran. And ran away. Why? Because they are not there to help. They are there for themselves and serving those who are funding them.
Okay.
So, Kwame Nkrumah said, when you see guests come bearing gifts, look at their mouths. Because they are salivating for what we have. And I believe in competition, fair competition. I believe if people can agree to go the right way and allow people space and listen to people, I believe we will produce the best leaders ever because they are there.
Thank you, Charles. Kevin Bogo, you say you would take money.
Yeah, I'll take the money. But once I receive that money, I'm going to 100% send it to Maraga's kitty for his presidential campaign, because I believe that is how we should start operating as a country. It's not that people are going to steal money from public coffers and then come to dish them out to us during campaigns, and then they don't work for us. So essentially, what I'm saying is we need to start the culture of the public to fund campaigns, and I think we're going to go in the right direction, because at the end of the day, when we are talking about the people who are going to dish out the money, the most frequent party that has been using that method is UDA, and Ruto is the leader of UDA. And I believe what we want as Gen Zs is just Ruto to go home. That's what I believe.
But if you take the money, don't you enable the culture and the system? Even if you're doing the Robin Hood thing, which is take from somebody and give to another, what we're questioning is, would you take that money? You've said yes.
Yeah.
That's all people see. They don't see beyond the why. So if people question and question, would your answer still be the same? You'd be like, yes, I'd still take the money.
I'll still take the money, and I'll fund Maraga, and once Maraga becomes president, we're going to do away with that culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ama urudisha pesa when he becomes, yes. Before we come to you, Agogo.
Yes, Jano, so my colleagues have spoken here, and they've spoken so well. I'll just address what my Mr. Moses said about system and how the system is structured. He has told us as a professional and as someone who understands system, you find that correcting or maybe changing systemic challenges is something that is so complex. You have simple and complex systems, and you'll also realize that changing system is not something that you just wake up, because Charles there have said very well that the system that we have in this country is since YK92. So that can tell you how strong and rather how challenging some of these systems are, and correcting them does not need quick fixes. Rather, it needs well structured and coordinated plans that can help us address some of these systems. So back then we had the 10-point agenda about that was addressed, something that was talking on youth involvement, the intergenerational conclave. And I remember that, coming up in a way that you can change some of this system is not just about, you waking up and doing them, but if you are in a position that you can influence some of these, challenges. Because once you've been brought on board, it is easier to be, to be incorporated, because we want youth to be incorporated. That is the first thing that we want. And I remember when we were in the streets, some of the challenges that youths were raising were things that affect each and every youth. It didn't matter which ethnic group you come from, which political party you come from, who the leader that you align with, but something that affects us. If you talk of unemployment, if you talk of economic burdening, but then you'll realize that once, because we have a system, more so when you discuss about issues youths, a system where you find someone who is 40 years, someone who is 42 years, they miss some opportunities at some point. Yeah, so you find that we are in say now we are heading to 2027 election. Someone who missed an opportunity when he was at his Gen Z age, say 20s, late 20s, mid 20s. Now they're here and they are crumbling for these opportunities at their 40s. And we want a system where youths can be involved, youths can be brought on the table, and youths can be brought on spaces where some of these challenges that affect them can be discussed, and they are also involved. When you talk about policy and being elected, Latif asked here that, does it mean that if you're a youth, or say if someone is old, as Agogo say now, my age does not guarantee me that someone who is old cannot lead me, and someone who is old can be led by youth. We've had youthful leaders, and at some point they end up also joining the swamp, or rather the system that we are complaining or rather raising here. So age, to me, age does not guarantee one, does not qualify as one to be a leader. But then, if you have the principles, if you are qualified to lead, you will lead. It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or maybe the ethnic that you come from.
Agogo, how do you identify a good leader?
Well, a lot of good leadership, you will identify good leadership based on how someone, what someone has done, history. Someone will tell you, this is what I've done before being elected. Because you cannot change a system, or maybe you cannot come up with good policies if you are an MP or women rep or maybe a senator. But then, in these small spaces that you are in, you can influence good leadership, and you can also influence them in the spaces that we are, where we represent. If it's in a political party, or maybe back in the colleges or in the spaces that we are in, you must not be elected for you to be a good leader, or maybe for someone to know that you are a good, or rather someone to know that you are a good leader. But then you have to show, and there must be an evidence to show that you are a good leader.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, countrymen and women, having listened what we have discussed here as an education expert in training, who has gone the rigorous training, I can summarize everything that we have been saying as a social problem. And how we can solve this is by fixing the education system. My brother here has described like the very levels of the system. So in order for us to fix this thing once and for all, we must fix our education system. For example, from the community that I come from, you find that the members of our community had granaries placed along the roads, so that if people were passing by and maybe they felt hungry, they could get into the granary, pick some few bananas, pick some few avocados and mangoes, and then continue with the journey. Not picking. You never found a case of someone who
took the entire
granary, because these people are being taught like you should take enough for yourself, and. You take enough for yourself, and the Ubuntu philosophy, I am because you are. If I pick everything, the one who is going to come after me won't get anything. And I think if we could follow the paths of Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, and China, where we inculcate the value education, the value system education in our education system. I've gone through the CBC system, and you find that there are neutral elements of the values. But if this system can be enhanced in a way that these values are inculcated in these young people from a very tender age, I think in the future we won't be in a dilemma of how to choose a good leader.
Who will be teaching these ethics?
Yeah, so it's our teachers.
Which ones?
I think
do we have ethical people in this society who can pass it on to our children?
I know there's a lot of people who want to respond just before you continue, because I think I like that we've heard a solution on education that's granular. Did somebody talk about health? I think somebody said the health sector in that. So we're getting things on the how is to fix the system. Latif had also asked about, bribes. So I think we can thread on that as well, because it'll give us an indication of where our values lie if we're going to. You wanted to continue?
Yes, I had not finished my presenting my presentation. So that was one way of doing that. And the second way was strengthening the watchdogs of this government. For example, we have had cases. We have interacted with these people at campus level. I mean, my 4th year have interacted with thousands of comrades. And you meet these comrades who are telling you that sisi tulisomewa mtihani. So like, you know, a child learns more from seeing than from from it's monkey see, monkey do. So if we instill that culture of values, like stealing exams, like we should strengthen our watchdogs in that teachers will be discouraged from stealing the exams, and maybe our leaders will be discouraged from stealing the resources. For example, because they will know that if I embezzle these funds, I'm going to be responsible to a watchdog which has teeth, not the current watchdogs which are hawana meno. Yeah, so if I have embezzled fund, the funds I will be taken to a watchdog, and I will have to pay the funds. So we must strengthen the education system and the watchdogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, you wanted to react, then we can come round.
Yeah. So, well, the conversation is very nice. Actually, I'm enjoying. First, before I get to how and if I'll take the bribe, I would like first to say, let's learn to talk about ourselves. For me, I want to dismiss the fact that I would be caught by President Ruto and go today. That one cannot even happen, because he said something very important. He said about culture. And me being a Christian, and from where I come from, I've learned a lot of things about virtues and the values that I should have, so that I have a good future, because sometimes some things are short-term. When he said, if Ruto calls me today and gives me 1 million, and then I vote him back and the system continues, being corrupt, lack of jobs, poor systems in health, education, then the 1 million has not helped me. Also referring to what you have said, if somebody takes the entire granary, even if my brother comes hungry, he will die. So, it's so nice, and it's unfortunate. That's why the lady said, there's some of us, even some of us in this generation, who really should, we should pray for, and we should really try to make them understand our goal and what we really focus on, because some of them are lost. So now about the bribes. For me, I would not take, because don't give us handouts, give us opportunities. And because now they are unable to give us the handouts. Though I've seen the culture of our Gen Zs. You remember when Sifuna went to Kakamega, and a lot of people were given the fake ODM, of Kina, Tunataka Power. They really rallied. I was following so keenly. They really rallied a lot of motorbike people and youth. They gave them reflectors, and they were at somewhere called Luanda. They fueled their motorbikes and they went to Kakamega. And something funny, after them being given the money, the 1,000 bob and the reflectors, because I had someone who was given, now he was telling me by the phone, when they got to Kakamega, they got off all the reflectors, burnt them, and they joined Sifuna's rally. So that is something that should tell you a lot of things, that things are changing, and the culture is changing, because we have realized, as I told you, she said so important. My mom, let me not use my mom because she's wise and she's a sharp woman. I hear women say in the village, ule alikuja akatuletea unga, akatuletea blanketi, ni yeye huyu ananipea unga kuliko huyu akona agenda zenye hazisaidii. So this is something that we should now and we should now cut over. And how do we do this? Like you remember during the protest, what did we do? We had X Spaces, we had TikTok Live to teach our parents and even people who don't understand, why are we going to the street? That's why you say the first time when we went to the streets, our parents were complaining. This generation is mannerless, they don't want to work, they want easy things. But after, going to X Spaces, going to TVs, myself, I was in Citizen and everywhere, they understood that their land is coming from freehold to leasehold. And now when they came to realize that these things are not well, Mukate it up, equal tax, and a lot of things that were there that were so critical, but they would not understand. So we have to do even civic education. And that's how we have to solve this, the entire problem. We have to do civic education. We have to, for example, as I said, I'm vying for the MCA. I have a very good strategy to know how to conquer, because I know myself, if I tell my mom to vote for a certain leader, and the way my mom sees me every day doing my things, she will have a reason to, go and sit down and think for the second time. So if I get these youths and they understand now the cause, it will be very easy to, to manage the election and even win. Because that friend of mine who is a youth will go and tell my mom, we mtu anataka, we bring a coolant plant in Nyandarua so that the farmers within this village sell their milk. There are no brokers. We cool our milk and sell it direct. So, I mean, we have to also have the civic education, and we have to make sure our parents understand the cause. And from ourselves as the Gen Zs, or the millennials that are here, we don't have to have big English and, a lot of fantasies to make sure things work out. Actually, I've come to learn that these very educated people are the one they are called in quotes educated, learned fools. They are so educated with PhDs and degrees. Kibaki used to do Kiswahili, and he did a lot for our country. He had the Vision 2030. A lot of these leaders after Kibaki, are having glory for his name, what he thought. Him speaking Mavia Kuku and Kiswahili, and you with big English, you are doing nothing. So we have to really focus on the cause. Even if I talk Kikuyu, even if we talk on
education
Kikuyu,
is okay, but you're saying be relatable and don't rely on your big English for solutions. That's what you mean.
Be wise. You hear the sharp boys and the sharp women.
Okay.
Be wise.
I know we're going into a break shortly, and we'll make sure everyone gets a chance to say a last word. Hey, Agogo and Consolata. Okay, briefly so that she can, and then when we come back, everybody comes to have a chance here.
Yeah, so Jano, it is wrong to come on the national television and call one of the, renowned political parties that nearly all these other political parties are looking after and, just crafting their strategies based on the ODM party that is led by Daktari, one of the top brains in the country. That's why I was saying that it is not all about age and everything. When my sister here was saying that Daktari, what will he do? He's been there for the last 30-20 years. He was Clinton. Yes, it was Clinton. It is not, by then he was not talking directly to power, but then now he's in a position that he can talk directly to power and influence that power so that we can talk of the third economic liberation.
Thank you.
Yes,
Gogo.
thank you so much.
You got your right of reply.
So thank you very much, Jano and Latif. I want to say this, when it comes to the culture of money, I'm saying I've been on the ground. Sometimes I take my time off because I'm also a student here in Kenyatta University. And I must say that during my teaching practice, I was in Gumo Boys High School in Laikipia County, and I took my time talking to those gentlemen to be. In fact, I went back there when I announced that I'll be vying as a woman representative. I used to take my time. A lesson is about 40 minutes, maybe 10 or 5. I would just tell them something about life and the reason and why they should uphold values, even if everyone in the room is not okay with your values. And I must say this, that I want to tell the electorates that the moment I give you money to vote me in, then I have no moral authority to do development for you. You also have no moral authority to question me because I feel that I bought you. I feel that I actually paid the price. And what happens when I get in, I must ensure that I get back my money with interest. If I spend 10 billion, I'll ensure that I get 12 billion. And I want to say this, that my standard, from when I started campaigning, Jano, I don't give out money. In fact, I tell them I don't have any money, even 100 bob. And I must say that our society is changing. Even if, yes, we have some people who are still lagging behind, but I've gone to a funeral where I told them that I'm a young aspirant, nini. And I can tell you the pastors, they ganged up and they actually contributed something for my fare to go around the county. And that was a very humbling moment for me. And I felt that, wow, the society is now finally changing, and now we are embracing what needs to be done. And I've also gone to places where I spoke to a group of women, and one woman just called me and told me, you know what, hii siasa inahitaji uongo kidogo. Siambie watu ukweli sana. Come up with imagine so they actually know what needs to be done.
Hii ni uongo.
Wanajua hii ni uongo na wanataka hii uongo. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
So sasa unajiuliza, how will I help them?
And when we come back after the break, we'll give everyone, because we'll have our last half hour with you. It's been very interesting hearing. We'll still go back to the system, but now we also have to consider constituents. We have to consider the citizens, because no matter how clean the system is, if people still take the bribes, if people still don't feel like they can't be bought for leadership, then what do? A lot of you are aspiring leaders. How will you deal when the constituents say, "Aye, bwana, if you're coming here, you have to pay something"? How do we begin to reset? So we'll come back after the break and continue our conversation with our young leaders on how we can overhaul the current system to make way for a system that works for them and for future generations. We'll just get that final word from them as we continue this conversation. Fixing the nation, one conversation at a time. Back in a moment.
As we come to now the final leg of our conversation this morning with the young leaders in the room, I just want to start off with Consolata. Before the break, you said, you're going and you're meeting people and you're not giving out money. In fact, there's some people who gave you some money. Now, be honest. Look at the various constituents that you're meeting with and the various demographics. Are there some who are looking at you expecting money?
Thank you very much, Eric, for that question. Well, I think because of my body size, people think that I am a moneyed woman, and they actually don't believe I am a student. They believe that I have some cash. And I have been in those situations so many times. Jeshi wanasema, tuachie kakitu, tufanyie nini. But you know what happens? You must first look at the reasoning of the person you are relating with. That is where you start, because you might start telling them, we are changing the current leadership, and maybe for them, they don't care.
Yeah.
So what I do, I actually tell them, and I am usually very honest. And my stand is the same all along. I'll not go to village 1 and give 100, then village 2, I don't give 100. The news will still come here.
Yeah.
That she gave there, but she didn't give here. So what I do, I tell them that I do not have money. I am a young person. I do not have a job. I'm just like you. I am begging for a job the same way you're also looking for a job somewhere. But I've also encountered maybe people who have a reasoning maybe close to mine, or people who have a progressive reasoning. I'll sit down and tell them, look, the reason why we have bad leaders is because they have been giving you money. The moment I give you money, then business closed.
Okay.
And of course, you expect that when I get there, you do not have any moral authority to question me. Yes.
Okay, we have several other aspirants in the room. So when you get the mic and you speak, please tell us whether you have been asked for money. Gonya, Choma Jeshi, whatever, And all of these people, by the way, are the young people, the youth who come for our meetings. Do they expect money? Are they asking for money? The population that is coming to your meetings that you're engaging with, what is the expectation of you? Just like Jano had said, the ground. What does the ground expect of an aspirant? Is it money? Is it a message? Is it the truth? Is it some lies? Is it, some drama? Do they expect you to come there and to kind of the current guys? What is the expectation of that constituency? And so how do we even make them then vote for a new generation leadership? I see Inda has the mic and he really wants to speak.
Yes.
Wait, you're not an aspirant yet, you told us, but you're a leader of the students of Migori.
Yeah, so looking at the economic situation as we speak, Mr. Eric and Madam Janet, you can't call someone into your rally and then leave that person that way, because someone cannot be with you in that rally when he's angry. You will have to give him or her something. And in fact, we are not angels, Mr. Eric. The first thing when you will ask when you are called, maybe by someone who is aspiring for maybe a member of parliament or an MCA, the first thing that you will ask, will there be money in that meeting? That is the first thing that you will ask. Let us not cheat ourselves. Pesa, yes, the person who is calling you is the one who wants the money, but the money belongs to the people. That is why I want to say what we lack in this country is implementation of Article 10 of the Constitution that talks on equality, transparency, and accountability. We want to see our leaders going to each and every part of the country, giving us the development. Yeah.
Okay. So, in Migori and the Luo Denise, they say what? Gonya. Yeah? Gonya means untie me. Nifungue, release me. I've come for the meeting. Just release me to go. And the same thing with Shina Jeshi, in Mount Kenya. Choma Jeshi. I mean, our throats are dry.
Yeah.
Like, tuma kakitu. What do they say in Kambani Clinton?
Tukelie.
Tukelie. Amsha wazee. You see, there's that whole thing of...
it's been normalized and internalized.
There's even a name for it. So there's an expectation. This is one of the expectations that the voters have of you now. How do you even overcome that?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Clinton.
Lisa Clinton, yeah.
Yes. Latif, allow me to say this. We are living in very, very changing times. For me, I've been on the ground. Actually, I've traveled from Kitui today, this morning. Yesterday, nilikuwa ground bad. And I'm meeting people, and this is what they are saying, especially mothers. We gave birth to children. We have educated them. We have spent money. We have sold land. We have sold our properties. But we are still with them at home, even after going through the education process. And they're giving me a name there back in Kitui. For me, when I go to my rallies and when I go to barrios and events, I'm telling them one thing. And I think Consolata is also might buy that when she goes back to the ground. That for me, I'm not looking for a position. I'm looking for a job to work. But I want to work for the people of Kenya and for the people of Kitui. So wananiita ule kijana anatafuta kazi, kijana tumpe kazi.
The job seeker.
Now, when you educate people that it's not about money, it's about service delivery when you get a seat. So I ask them, if you give me this position through money, will I be in a position to work? Will I be in a position to deliver services? Because I have to, in economics, you can't invest money and don't get return on investment. So, but if you give me this position without spending anything, actually, I have your debt. Nyinyi ndio mnanidai. So I have to deliver. Number two, we have to focus very much on civic education. Kuna wale watu, you meet them, wanakwambia amsha wazee. But if you focus on educate them, tell them I don't have a job, but I'm looking for a job. And the job that I'm looking for is to make you not to beg for that 200, but to be able to work on daily basis somewhere so that you can feed yourself, so that next time when we meet, you even buy lunch for me.
Okay.
Because you've worked. And that in that regard, and I will encourage this panel, we do a lot of civic education. In Kitui, we are coming up with an initiative by the name Ballot Revolution Initiative, that we want to change things on the ballot. And there's something that back in our discussion we were saying, if we elect Clinton to go to the Senate alone as a young person, I might shout my best. I might advocate the much that I can for change. But if I'm alone and I still go back to Senate with the same group that is still there, maybe Sifuna will be better, but we will still not deliver. That's the reason why we are saying we want to take all this backload in the system home, then bring fresh minds which are ready to work for the people.
Okay.
So, Latif, people are ready for a change. The issue of money, the same happened to me, by the way. There's a time I went to a church, they prayed for me and they contributed for my fuel. So things are changing. We still are having challenges. But in 2027, we have to clear everything from the head to the top. And there's something very important that I want to tell the people of Kenya. This political class, they are doing something we call self-preservation. You cannot tell me that a political leader has been in position for 20, 30 years and you expect them to change. These are people when, in 2022, people like Member of Suna East, Member of Parliament Suna East, Junet Mohamed, was the hardest on Ruto. But right now, he's the biggest defender of Ruto. So there are no values. They don't have values, those people.
Okay.
Completely, they don't have values. But we want to bring in people who can stand by their stand. If I say Ruto must go, it's Ruto must go, India has to go, despite what is done to
And it takes patience. I think your approach is patient. We'll give everyone a chance to say something because we're almost at the last 10 minutes. Okay, we can go there, then make sure everyone gets a chance. Okay.
Jano and Enrico, yes, we come to the tail end of this discussion. I'd like to say that we are coming from a very tough time as a country and as a people. We are coming from a time where people were saying, wacha tumchague, aende akule yake tano. Miaka tano ikiisha, we replace him with another. Like it was a series of wewe enda ukule
blessings.
Exactly.
It's like chama.
Yeah.
Tukutole this time wewe ukule.
Merry-go-round. Yeah, so like and the electorate were like, if he or she is going to eat, then he or she must give us our part. And let me remind them from wherever they are watching us from. If I give you a packet of rice, tomorrow I'm coming for your field, rice field. If I give you a kilogram of maharagwe, tomorrow I'm coming for your field Shamba. Of maharagwe. So it's high time we as a electorate decide. Tukipatiwa sombili, hiyo sombili tuigawanye for 5 years. Kila mwaka tutakuwa tunakula shilingi ngapi? Like if we that is the kind of maths we are supposed to be doing. And secondly, we are having a lot of young people registering as voters, but that is not enough. As my brother from Kitui has said, in unity it will be our strength. So he cannot win an argument in parliament when he's the only Gen Z there. So in as much as we are going to take the votes, in as much as we are saying to Kadi, we should also go for these positions. Hakuna kiti imeandikwa ni ya mtu. Umesikia hata mpaka youth leader bado anataka power. So we are also going to take those things.
Okay.
And my third and final point, as a teacher must conclude for at least 5 times. The populace. Me being young does not guarantee that I should be voted. You should look at my track record. For example, I have served the students of Chuka University for 3 years, for 4 years, for the 4 years that I have been there. They should the recruit should look at my track record. This guy was in Chuka University. Did he or she engage himself in corruption? Because if I cannot be trusted with the few 100,000 that I've been trusted by the comrades. I also want to be trusted with the millions that will be trusted with me.
Thank
so
you.
we should go for values, for people who are transparent and accountable.
Thank you very much.
And finally,
the gentleman behind, then we'll go around. Yes.
Okay, so my final parting remarks is that as much as we are talking about not taking bribes or not doing what, first it starts with yourself. And I talked about the culture and the system. We are the part of the system. We make up the system. The person who is the president is part of the community. So we have to look at ourselves. We see, do you have a culture of accountability? Am I accountable to myself? Am I accountable to God? Am I accountable to other people? So if you are not accountable to yourself, and to other people, you cannot expect that the next person will be accountable to you. So as part of us trying to bring change, let's first change ourselves. The system starts with you. the person, the individual. Then it goes, it reciprocates, it grows. So start with yourself, be responsible yourself, be accountable to yourself before you ask other people for accountability. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go around here.
Well, Jano and Latif, my parting shots will be brief. One, let us accept that in changing, the systemic challenges, we first have to ensure that we change the rules of the game, and that would need process. All these things are process, and they are gradual. It's not just something that you wake up, as Clinton puts it, that I think that you'll wake up, then you make those changes. No, it's gradual, and we must also be part of the conversation. As youths, we have to be part of the conversation by pushing for some of these resolutions. One of the resolutions, we want the youth to be involved. That is through the intergenerational conclave. That is the push, and that is what I'd say that as a go-go, as a youth, as a young Kenyan, we would want those agendas, and which was the 10-point agendas. Part of it was ensuring that the intergenerational conclave is implemented, and it cannot be implemented when you are away, or maybe when you are not in a position where you can influence, or maybe where you can not talk directly to power or people who influence some of these policies and power. So that is why, as I conclude, say that let us align ourselves, and I'm happy that when we started back then, youth and Gen Zs were partyless, they were leaderless. You can see now my friend Clinton is aligned to a certain political party. That would mean that he has a political leader that he's aligned to. So let us all align and ensure that at the end of the day, we ensure that our need, our urges are done, are implemented. Thank you so much. And
thank you very much. Inda, we'll come round and make sure everyone gets a chance here.
Thank you. So lastly, we need to fix the nation. Let us have alternative as Gen Zs. When President Ruto doesn't go, let us give him the MPs that will ensure that they represent the will of the people. Then change start by ourselves. Saeed, we are in a rainy season. What have you done as a youth in that maybe a small garden that you have home there? Thank you.
Thank you.
Kevin. Thank you, Janet and Latif. My parting shot is that as the Gen Zs, we need to now focus on the coming elections. We've been talking a lot, but I'm sure once 2027 reaches, we are going to have a massive number of new registered voters. And I know I'm speaking for the Gen Zs when I'm saying, actually there's a video that has been going around of, I don't know if you've seen it, it's for Jeff Koinange. He's been going to a kibanda for lunch, and he's being asked, Jeff, what are you going to eat? And he's saying, not matumbo for sure. Now, for us as the Gen Zs, come 2027, what you need to say is, not Ruto for sure. Thank you.
Ruhu?
Not Ruto for sure, man.
Yes. As we close, I was reflecting on the story of the children of Israel when they were moving from Egypt to Canaan. The generation that got to Canaan is not the generation that left Egypt. So we could be the ones who have started this pilgrimage, because it's a pilgrimage. It is a journey into the future, whereby our kids will be world-class citizens, whereby they can compete with children from Asia, with children from Europe, with children from USA, because we are not inferior. Martin Luther and his generation, they are not the ones who enjoyed the changes that were coming. So this fight that we are fighting, it might be that we will not be the generation that will enjoy the changes that we will impact or enforce. It could be our children's children. And I want us as a generation to remain wise, to start this thing and move with discipline, principles, integrity, forging forward, knowing that the future will reward us and will judge us as a generation fairly, knowing that we dealt with the problem, because all other generations that are ahead of us have failed. The clergy has failed, the court has failed, the police have failed, everyone has failed. And the most useless institution in Kenya, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that one, we will deal with it also. Me and our encourage, let's move. And to all those guys who are out there, please chukua kura.
Okay.
We need it. It is the bus ticket
Safi.
into the future. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Okay, my final maoni yangu. Number one, it is said, a politician who gives rice during campaigns will steal the rice farm after winning. So, it's upon us. It's either we want our farm gone or we are going to take rice. Choose wisely. And what we are going to have, no tuto for sure.
So, Jano and Latif, as we come to the close of this, when I started this journey, when I decided that I'll run as a woman representative in Laikipia, I had a conversation with myself and I decided that these are the things I'm going to do and these are the things that I'm not going to do. I have values that I will stick to them until the end. And I want to advise everyone here in the panel, because I know even if you are not vying, but by the fact that you are here, that means that you have some interest someday. Please, we are not trying to babysit anyone to vote for us. We are giving them options, that there are better options out here. Please don't go to the extremes. Don't compromise. Don't lose yourself. That because of that, because what you compromise to get, you also have to continue compromising to maintain it. And finally, I want to talk to the Gen Zs. You see, the same way this Kadi campaign has gone and has been the talk of town, to a point even the president is talking about it, and also want to advise him on camera that they should look for other slogans. They should not take ours. They should, if they are creative enough, the Dennis Itumbi and everyone, they should look for their own slogans. And I'm trying to say that you see that this has become a massive movement. We as the Gen Zs have the ability to push for any good thing we want, for positive change. We have the responsibility of passing the message of goodwill, and we can influence change in any area that we are in. We can mentor each other in business, in politics, in sports, in every space we are in. And in Laikipia, we have rising cases of mental health, and we have youths dying by suicide. Imagine young men below the ages of 25. And this is as a result of mental health. Let us stand up for each other. Let us be there for each other, and let us mentor each other, and let us spread the positive message of goodwill. Thank you.
I think we heard from everyone. Yes? Not from Wilmark.
Wilmark, not yet.
Wilmark, very briefly, because we're completely out of time.
Okay. So mine will be short. Short as a means cut, but as long enough to save a life. So nice to have you here. I will just urge we the Gen Zs, we are many, but the question is, are we organized? We can have the numbers, we can have the power, we can have the value, we can have the capacity, we can have the time, but if we are not organized, where are we going? We are going nowhere. Then to the people, to those people who are voting, let's change the story. I'll come to you without anything, but if I don't have the idea you want, and if I'm not bringing change, please don't vote me. Just vote me for the value, the capacity, and the ideas that I have to change. And it's high time that from our parents, from the millennials, Gen Zs, baby boomers, all those, listen to us. The young people, as you said, you took us to school, you paid a lot of fees, you have invested in us, and now we are wise, we are sharp. Give us an opportunity to serve this country. And as I conclude, let's not be party parrots. From where I come from, the mountain, it's DCP. But imagine, I'm not a party member of DCP. Actually, right now, what I'm focusing on is making people understand what do we want in 2027?
Right.
Because you can be an ODM Youth League, you are parrot for the party, but the party itself does not hold values that we want. So Kandi, as the young people, let's be unique. Let's set our own pace. Let's be the pace setters. It's better you be an independent candidate with true values and virtues than be from a very big party, 40 years, that does not help you.
Let's pause there.
And the last thing is, give a dog a good name and it will behave well.
Okay.
ODM is fake, but
thank
we
you.
Focus on it.
Oh. Bado alikuwa na maoni ni mengi. This is not the last time we'll have this conversation. You can also be saying as short as short. Sasa miniskirt ilitoka wapi? Unaingilia miniskirt kwa nini? Franz Fanon once said, each generation must, out of relative obscurity, discover its mission, fulfill it or betray it. So let that stay with you as you leave. But thank you all. And honestly, wishing you the best. I think your hearts are in the right place. I hope you get the support you need. And just let's keep going. From me, Janet Bogwa, from Eric Latif, thank you so much for staying with Fixing the Nation, one conversation at a time, with Mariam Bishar as well. We'll be back here very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day.